So I walked into my first job as a physical therapist after college and realized right away that I had made a very poor choice, and mostly because it didn't spur my creative side by any means. And so I was always looking for something to do at the end of a long day as a physical therapist, and cake decorating seemed like a fun thing to do. So I sought out classes and ended up at a local Michaels store in Connecticut. I literally went straight from work to cake decorating classes it was Tuesday evening. I fell in love with the art of decorating cakes. I fell in love with the creative aspect of it, being able to just come home after a long day and be able to do something fun, and eventually started making cakes for friends and family. I definitely started my cake experience on the more simple side. I really had an affinity for playing with fondant and gum paste and those types of things. So things like making bows and even sugar flowers were the types of items I would do in my spare time when I just wanted to do something fun. I've been a full-time cake decorator for the past 11 years. I run a studio with custom luxury wedding cakes. And what has been fun about my journey is that I've kind of taken every aspect that you can through this path of being a cake designer. And that is starting by taking some lessons, playing with cake. I actually taught Wilton Method at a Michaels for a couple of years in the beginning. And now I continue to share all of that knowledge through other methods. I started cake decorating just by doing really simple things, like making a custom topper, like this classy gum paste bow just placed on top of a cake. It really brings the cake itself to life. You can even add this to a pre-made cake to save yourself a little time. So the first thing you want to do is roll out your gum paste to about 1/8 of an inch thick. We want to make sure this is wide enough for 2 widths of the spatula. The next step is to texture our ribbons. So using a rolling pin, you're just going to apply some pressure and roll it gently all the way across. With a food-safe brush, I'm going to add a little shimmer dust just to give it a satin look like a real ribbon. So now I'm going to cut 2 lengths of ribbon using a food-safe straight edge. You'll need 4 lengths altogether. When working with gum paste, you just want to work in small sections so that it doesn't dry out on you. So you're going to roll out and texture your gum paste, but this time you're going to cut out 2 strips that are 2 widths of the spatula. I've got a 6-inch cake covered in teal fondant, but you could choose to use buttercream here as well. To attach our ribbon strips, we're going to add just a little bit of water with a food-safe brush. Flip over our strip and just gently brush the water on. We're going to place all 4 strips on our cake and have them meet at the top center. And now all you need to do is cut a diagonal through the center of all of the ribbons and remove the excess pieces. For our ribbon tails, we're going to take one of our wider pieces, cut it in half, and then cut diagonals at each end. Taking one of our ribbon tails, we're going to hold it with our finger and our thumb and do what's called a box knot. You make an S on one side and an S on the other side and squash it together. And that's what gives the beautiful ruffling to our tail. To make our bow loops, we're going to cut this in half first, and then we're going to pleat it down the center. And that just is folding it, and then we'll create another box knot at that other end. Now with gum paste, sometimes you need to add a little bit of a paper towel in here to prop the bow while it dries. Once the bow loops are dry, we'll go ahead and place them on the cake. This is your chance to fluff and puff a little. You may need to add a little bit of water to make them stick. To finish off your bow, all you need to do is add a little strip of gum paste. And you can see just adding a bow can dress up even the simplest of cakes.
Subscribe to our channel and share your projects using the hashtag #MakeItWithMichaels.